Here's something odd about Dr. Doom that I don't think anyone says out loud. Almost everything you know about him, you know because he said it. Not a narrator, not a witness. Him. His account, his framing, his side. 60 years of a man being the only source on himself. Look at that mask. Everyone assumes it's hiding a face. Hold that thought, because by the end of this video, you'll see the comic where Marvel took all of this as far as it can go. They published his life story, and then told you the narrator was lying. For now, the big one. The accident. Every part of this man comes out of one night. The face, the exile, the armor, the country. And his explanation has never changed. Reed Richards did it. 1964. Fantastic Four Annual Number 2. Put yourself in a dorm room. Victor Von Doom is at a desk. He's a scholarship kid a long way from home, and he's building a machine to reach the dead. He thinks he can call his mother back. Another student walks past the open door. Tall, American, curious. He looks at the notes on the desk, and he sees a mistake. Reed Richards tells him, right there, says the equations need another look. Victor doesn't thank him. Victor throws him out for touching his work. Then he sits down at the machine and switches it on. It blows up in his face. He's expelled inside a week. Marvel settled it in 1985. Reed's math was correct. The mistake was Victor's. No sabotage. A brilliant man who couldn't stand being corrected. So why does everyone still believe him? Because Marvel keeps printing his side. There's a piece on their official website, written from Doom's point of view, that says Richards perhaps grew jealous. He lost the argument in 1964, and he's still winning it in the search results. And if a man can get his own version of the accident into the permanent record, what else in that story is his? Start small. Everybody knows Reed Richards and Victor Von Doom were roommates. They weren't. Everyone says Reed Richards and Victor Von Doom shared a room at university. They didn't. Reed asked. That's the part nobody tells you. Reed offered to room with the foreign kid, and Victor said no. Demanded a room of his own, wouldn't share air with him, so Reed took the next name on the list. Ben Grimm. Think about what that means. The Thing is Reed Richards' best friend for the rest of these comics, because Victor Von Doom was too proud to share a dorm. His ego built the friendship he'd spend his whole life trying to break. Some of what you know about this man he invented. Some of it we handed him, and then there's his face. 2 theories in, and there's a shape forming. Doom writes his own history, and it comes out flattering. Not this one. This is the one where somebody else picks up the pen, and what they do to him is genuinely brutal. In the original origin, the story is simple. Machine explodes. Face ruined. He hides it. Every adaptation you've ever seen runs with that. But there's a beat in that same comic nobody talks about. He's in the mountains, the monks have finished the armor, and one of them warns him the mask is still hot. He puts it on regardless. And in the 1964 art, nothing happens. He doesn't flinch. It's drawn as a hard man moment, and then it's gone. 1985. John Byrne, on Fantastic Four number 278, goes back and looks at that panel properly, and he decides the explosion left one scar. A single line, nothing more. Which means the horror under that mask isn't the accident. It's the mask. 21 years after the fact, Marvel turned their most terrifying villain into a man who mutilated himself over a blemish. Not through a fight, not through a curse, vanity, and a piece of hot metal. He can rewrite what Reed did to him. He can't rewrite what he did in a room with 4 monks and a furnace. Though, I'll be straight with you, Marvel never took the first version back. Both are still in print. This character has 2 faces on the record, and nobody has ever picked one. The one everybody remembers is the one that flatters him. There's exactly one other thing he's never managed to talk his way out of. She had squirrels. Early 90s, a one-shot comic. A teenage girl called Doreen Green, who talks to squirrels, sets a swarm of them on Dr. Doom. They chew through the armor, and the ruler of Latveria, conqueror of worlds, gets in his ship and leaves. You know what should have happened next. Doombots. Doom builds duplicates of himself so convincing they think they're him, and that's been the escape hatch for decades. Any humiliating loss gets waved off as a machine. A writer tried it, it didn't take. A Great Lakes Avengers Christmas special came back and confirmed she beat the real Doom, and Marvel has left it alone ever since. Steve Ditko drew it, the man who co-created Spider-Man. So there it sits. Nobody can touch it. Everything else in this video, somebody gotta rewrite. Not this. Quick thing while we're all in a good mood. Every single claim in this video has a comic and a year attached to it. That's the entire idea here. The page, the date, the writer who changed it, and an honest shrug when nobody actually knows. If that's the kind of thing you'd watch more of, subscribe. Right, back to Doom. He can't fix that one. But somebody else once told a lie about Victor Von Doom, and Marvel spent 35 years cleaning it up. 4 theories, and every one of them had somebody's hand on the story. This time the hand wasn't his. Back to that same 1964 annual. Doom's been left for dead, and a time traveler called Rewrote hauls him out of it, and Rewrote tells him they might be related. Might even be the same man from 2 points in one life. Doom buys it. So does everybody else. That Pharaoh becomes Kang the Conqueror, and for the next 20 years, Doom and Kang being family is just a thing readers know. 1984. Fantastic Four number 273. John Byrne reveals Kang descends from Nathaniel Richards, Reed's father. Not Doom, never Doom. And 35 years after that Pharaoh opened his mouth, Marvel finally went back and explained the scene. Rewrote made it up, on the spot, to get something out of him. Doom got played. By a man who later called himself the Conqueror. Look at what Rewrote chose as the bait, though. Not power, not knowledge. He offered a man who'd lost every family member he ever had the possibility of one more. And family is the one thing Victor Von Doom has never been able to walk away from. That's twice now. University and a Pharaoh. Both times the smartest man in the room stopped being smart the second somebody touched something he couldn't be objective about. Which is exactly how the next one starts. Except this time he's the one holding the leverage. And there's a newborn baby in the room. I want to give Dr. Doom credit for something, because he's earned it. He once saved a child's life for free. His enemy's child. Fantastic Four number 54. Sue Storm is dying in labor. Reed Richards is nowhere. And the Human Torch, out of options, flies to the Latverian embassy and asks Dr. Doom. Doom comes. He uses science and magic in the same room, which almost nobody alive can do, and both of them survive. That's real. That happened. Put it on the scoreboard. Now the other column. His fee was to be godfather and to name her. They said yes, because what else do you say to the man who just saved your wife? He named her Valeria, after his first love, the girl from before the mask. And while he was holding her, he cast a spell that made that newborn his familiar. His eyes, his ears, a wire running straight from Reed Richards' house into Castle Doom. He spoke to the Fantastic Four through their own baby, and arranged it so her first word was his name. But that's not the worst of it. The worst of it is what the name meant. A year later, in Unthinkable, Mark Waid has Doom track down the original Valeria, the woman herself, and sell her to demons for power. He wears her remains as armor. He throws Franklin Richards into hell. Same name, 2 girls, one he saved and bound, one he loved and sold. So the name on that little girl isn't a tribute, it's a receipt, which makes the next one almost impossible to accept. Because the next theory is the one where a god looks straight into Dr. Doom's soul and finds nothing wrong with it. Here's a sentence I didn't expect to write about Dr. Doom. He wasn't lying. 2010. Doom War, Issue 3. He's conquered Wakanda and he needs the last of the vibranium. And to get it, he has to face the Panther God. Bast doesn't negotiate. Bast reads what's actually inside you. And if what you say doesn't match, you don't leave. And Victor Von Doom tells him, "My methods are cruel and villainous, and my intention is pure. I have seen 100,000 futures. In one of them, humanity survives. It's the one I'm standing on." Bast lets him pass. Every Doom fan on the internet has been holding that panel over people's heads ever since. And honestly, fair enough. It's a hell of a moment. But look closely at what got tested. And here is the word nobody uses when they post this scene. Sincerity. Not accuracy. Bast confirmed that Doom means it. Bast said nothing whatsoever about whether the 100,000 futures were real or whether the man reading them could read them properly. And we've spent 6 theories watching this man be wrong about things while being completely sure. He was sure Reed sabotaged him. He was sure that Pharaoh was family. Sure enough, both times, to build a life on it. So a god confirming Doom believes himself isn't the win people think it is. It's the diagnosis. He's not a liar. He's something worse. He's certain. Which brings me back to something I said at the very start of this video, and the one comic where Marvel finally admitted it. Let me take you back to the first minute of this video. I said almost everything you know about Dr. Doom, you know because he said it. And I said there was a comic where Marvel took that as far as it can go. 2005. Books of Doom, by Ed Brubaker and Pablo Raimondi. 6 issues. The most thorough origin Dr. Doom has ever been given, and the book people recommend when you ask where to start. It's told as an interview. Doom, describing his own life to a journalist, page after page. Straight away, that's a choice. Because for 140 pages, your only source on Victor Von Doom is Victor Von Doom, and Brubaker keeps undercutting him with people who were there and remember it differently. It also contradicts the original outright. Here, the American army recruits him, and the university is cover. In 1964, the university is the whole story. You heard me say this once already tonight, about his face. 2 versions, both published, and Marvel never picked. That was one scar. This is a whole life. And then, at the very end, you learn who's been narrating. A Doombot. The machine that ruled Latveria in his place, sitting in a chair, telling a reporter about a childhood it never had. Read that back. The definitive biography of Dr. Doom was given by a robot impersonating Dr. Doom, and Marvel printed it as canon. That's not a gag ending. That's the company looking at 4 decades of a character who rewrites himself and saying, fine, here's the file. We're not going to pretend it's clean. Which is why none of the 7 things you just watched have a bottom to them. The accident, the roommate, the face, the squirrels, the pharaoh, the baby, the god in Wakanda. Every single one is somebody's account of Victor Von Doom, and there is no version underneath that isn't. So look at the mask one more time. You've spent your whole life assuming there's a face under there. There isn't. There's a record, and he is the only one holding a key. Not 8 theories. Here's how they actually landed. 3 were flat wrong. 1 was Marvel rewriting his face 21 years late. 1 was the rewrite that didn't take, because of squirrels. 1 was the kindest thing he ever did, and it was a trap. 1 was a god who measured him honestly and measured the wrong thing. And the last one says, none of the rest can be trusted. That's not a tidy ending. It's the only honest one available. So, comments. Is he lying, or does he believe it? Those are different men, and I genuinely don't know which one we've been watching. One word, I read all of them. And December 18th, the movie picks a version. Subscribe, because I'll be back the week it does, and we'll find out whose 60 years of story actually survived.